Hey guys, today I'm sending you a live video. You have no idea how long it took me to push that button. How many times I was like, where do I start? Like, what's the message? What do I want to say? So now I'm doing it. It is, the topic that I chose for today is taking self-empowering actions in times of adversity. And yeah, so I'm sending you this video from beautiful, sunny, stormy Leesburg. I just saw a trash bin rolling down the street. It's very, very windy. Trash and recycled trash is being blown through the streets. But yeah, so what did I want to talk about today? Of course, the situation we're in is a unique one, and I'd like to introduce some perspective, or maybe a different perspective, some positivity in like what's going on. And I know it's different for everyone, right? We're all over the place. Some people are really suffering health-wise, dying. People are losing loved ones, losing money, work. We're all over the place. Others are just appreciating the downtime and taking it easy because they have the financial means to do so. So we're all in different places right now, and what I wanted to share is what over the past few weeks, how I actually dealt with the situation. And being a health coach, I also felt like, how can I share, inspire, maybe help, not only through my services but also through other means. And I found like Facebook is a great platform, and thank you for that. And Facebook Live is a beautiful tool, so thank you for that too. And it's not that I have not done spoken in front of people before. I've done many workshops, but like pushing this red button and just pretty much talking to yourself is definitely interesting. So when this whole thing started with the virus, I was like, okay, what will that do? What is actually happening? First of all, I was you see these two lines here, those are like my skeptical lines, like everything that's coming from news, and like, I don't know, is that really true or not, or what's the motivation behind there? And I find that these are like unprecedented times for probably most of us, and for me too. I have never experienced a more controversial time in terms of what to believe. It's crazy, like whatever channel you're tuning into, print media, online, TV, social, you're like bombarded with stuff and with numbers and with facts, and it's expert opinions, and I find it really hard to sift through and figure out what is actually true and what's not. And in this process, I also, like even more than before, I tune into my gut feelings. Like, what is actually, first of all, what feels right for me, right? What resonates with me? Like this rational thing up here, this rational mind has one opinion, but there is also a gut feeling. And I really appreciated like tuning into that. And I'm not telling you anything here, right? This is true, this is not true. I have like my own opinions about like how this whole situation came about, and I don't want to go into that, right? I don't want to talk about, well, this was designed and planted by some organization in order to do certain things to the world economy and population and whatnot. This is not what it is about. This is about like how do we as an individual, do I as an individual deal with the situation, because it affects our, like all of our life dimensions pretty much. And when that's itching. When I work with people, one of my favorite tools is, and those who have worked with me know it, it's the wheel of life, right? It's a wheel of life that consists of specific life dimensions. It's on top, of course, is health, right? Health, there's your love relationship, your family, your social relationships, there's your like leisure, there's personal growth, there's your money, finances, there's work, there's passion. So I have like different dimensions, and you can add many more. But like all of these are like somehow affected, right? Health for some people really severely affected, for others not at all. Then our social life, definitely social distancing is totally affected. Money, finances, work, very, very impactful for a lot of people out there, a lot of companies out there. And I'm including myself here. We are facing our own situation here with business and work and finances. So when I looked at that wheel of life for myself, I was like, okay, that's interesting. So what am I going to do with this right now? How do I respond to that? And starting with health, right? Because I always say health, when you're not healthy, health, like taking care of your health, is not a selfish thing. Because first of all, when you're not healthy, like you're not really showing up the way you want to show up in the other areas of your life, right? You're not showing up in the quality that you want to maybe bring into your relationships, your work, whatever. But you're also not really, you're not expressing your full potential when you want to help others or serve others, help your community. Think about like more than your own little bubble, right? So I took health as the first item for me, and I was like, okay, what can we do? Because I don't know what this virus really is about, because I don't know what to believe. But we know other disease situations, right? The flu is there every year, and I'm not making any comparison here at all, but we have a lot of other things that are affecting our health. So when I looked at my health, I was like, okay, what are the key factors? Let's take another critical look at that. It's hydration, right? It's the first one. And those who know me or who have worked for me, it's like, oh, now he goes again, right? Here he goes again. Hydration. Most people are dehydrated. I also find myself sometimes that I don't drink enough of this beautiful thing. So I was like, okay, let's get back to my target, right? Because my body, in order to fight whatever is out there, to help my immune system, I drink my 120 ounces of water per day. Yeah? And that's really doable. That's like about 8 glasses, 16 ounces glass of water. So hydration, I'm set with hydration. I have found my perfect solution for what type of water. I'm not drinking alcohol anymore, as some of you know, some don't. So no more alcohol since it's quite some time now, actually. Then I started a supplement protocol. I was like, okay, let's look at supplements, right? I'm not big on supplements usually, but I also know that we don't get what we need out of the food that we buy. So I was like, okay, let's figure out. So I did, and it took me days to come up with this protocol. I talked to different people. I researched a lot of things. I'm not a nutritionist, but I I mean, that's part of what I'm covering, but I'm not deeply into that. So it's like vitamin D, for instance, right? We're coming out of winter. Most people are vitamin D deficient, and so vitamin D levels are super critical for your immune system. And I don't want to go deep into that protocol, but vitamin C, magnesium, zinc, selenium, vitamin B complex, vitamin A. Like, okay, so I developed the protocol and we're doing that since several weeks. Feels great. Yeah. It's actually, once you start taking actions like that, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and here we go into the topic of today, is like self-empowerment. It empowers yourself. Instead of sitting at home and waiting for someone to come up with a solution for the problems that we're facing, it's a very depending and very weakening stance, right? We can do so many things to empower, to step into our power, and health is only one of these areas. So I looked at nutrition again, nourishing, yes, fresh food, and I realized, and I actually just started on it's another sheet of paper, I started on a 4-week brain and body detox program, and I'm doing that every quarter. And I realized, well, you know, we don't actually need as much food as we think we need. You can live on very little food, and to satisfy your needed, your calorie intake. And with that less food but higher quality, you may spend the same amount of money than before. So yeah, nourishing food, and what else? Sleep actually comes for me before food. So I took another view on my sleep, and I figured that actually when I go to bed earlier, I get more time out of my night. Right? Sleep is super, super critical for our immune system. So water, hydration levels, I actually calculate 75% of my body weight is my target, my upper target. 75% of my body weight in ounces. That's what I'm shooting for. So for me, it's like 124 ounces. Sleep is number 2 on my list. 7 to 9 hours per night. I figured that if I go to bed around 10, I actually get my 8 hours. If I go to bed later, I don't get it because I wake up around the same time. Usually around 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm getting up. And so I'm going to bed earlier now than usual. So this whole situation got me into another sort of resetting my whole health routine. And outside, nature, going outside, it's like I feel like nature is really getting a break here and is showing up differently too. Like when I look outside, I see green grass, I see trees, and like the colors of the spring, and I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. I want to be out there all day long. And so I make it a point to actually go running, go for a walk, especially in the forest. Forest is such a powerful environment, right? So healthy for us, like connecting with nature. It is amazing. So what else? Physical activities. So you see, like there's like all these different aspects, and they all feed into health. So physical activities, like doing something, even when you're doing it at home. I do a lot of body weight exercises, like really core exercises, and be it like just jump rope or pull-ups, or I love actually push-ups in all variations, and there's so many things we can do with our body weight, or just running. I love running. Running outside is amazing. You get fresh air, you get sun, you get wind, and you get nature. So like to make it a point and go running in the forest. What else? Connection. Like I'm connecting with you right now. It's connection is an interesting part because it's not just how we connect with our social circle now, with being more distant than before, and with our families, and it's also like how do you connect with yourself, right? How do you think about your life at the moment? And I feel this whole virus situation really pushes us to look at like what's inside, right? As I said, the whole like news and statistics and numbers, not knowing what to believe and who to believe, and this overwhelm of confusion triggers uncertainty, and I did a long post on that, is causing fear, right? Stress and fear. And what does that do? Well, it really, at the end, it impacts our immune system. Fear makes us weak. I don't want to be in fear. So what is the action that I took? So I try to look at the positive. What's the intention? Not the intention, but what is the positive aspect of the situation we are in? No matter what challenges there are always challenges. There's always black, there's always white. So what's the white part here? It's definitely deceleration, right? It's like like when I'm uncertain, when I'm in stress, what am I stressed about? What do I fear? Do I fear dying? Do I fear losing my financial existence, my house, what is it, right? So I really took a close look at what is the uncertainty causing inside of me, and how can I address that? And I felt with like every empowering action that I took, like getting out of this victim mode. Oh my God, there's this worldwide vicious virus, and we're all being asked to do now weird things that are impacting our lives. It's like, I don't want to be a victim. It doesn't feel good. So what can I do? What lies in my power to show up for myself, so I feel good about what I'm doing for myself, and so I can show up for my community and my loved ones, right? So with every single view that I took on my health and every action, I felt better. I was like, oh, this supplement protocol is awesome. I always wanted to do that, like come up with something that we can take on a regular basis, find the good sources, the good products. And now it just feels great to do that and to add that to our healthy nutrition, right? And talking to a lot of people, clients, friends, networks. I belong to business networks, and like also in conversations in my workshops, I feel like we are a society where, first of all, there is no health care. There's a disease care, right? We are treating diseases. We are living in a very reactive way in terms of our health, right? There is no proactive healthcare, really. And that's what I'd like to instill and inspire, like take action and step into preventive healthcare. Take preventive actions, and now is the best time to do that with all the things that I mentioned before, right? And it's a choice. It's a choice. I had actually several workshops at assisted living centers. I love to work with that part of our community, with the elderlies, because they are so funny. They are so full of wisdom and life experience, and I enjoy every single workshop. And I talked with them. I had workshops about water, sugar, sleep, and the psychology of change, mind and brain. And there was one, I think it was in a sugar workshop. So I was talking about all the bad effects of sugar on our health, and And this one guy was like, well, you should talk to these guys. And he was pointing to the institution he was living in, right, the assisted living center. You should talk to these guys. They are feeding us all this sugar. And I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. I can definitely do that. I would love to see what you guys are eating every day, what your meal plan is. I'm not a nutritionist, but I'm, of course, working with individuals to find their perfect individual diet. And then he was like, yeah, and they're giving us like a sugary dessert, like for every meal. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting, right? That's really vicious. They give you that stuff. But are they actually force feeding you? Or are you making the choice, right? Are you making the choice to eat it, or are they forcing you to eat that? And then he was like, well, I'm eating it. And I said, yeah, because you choose to. You can blame them for giving you that, and you can make recommendations for other stuff you want to eat instead, but it's your choice to eat it or not to eat it, right? And that's for us the same. We can blame the food industry, the government, for putting all these unhealthy things out there that are not good for us. And sometimes I go there, actually. Sometimes I get very frustrated with the food industry because it's so powerful, right, with food and media and government combined. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that is not really good for us, and it's sanctioned by the government, and people make a lot of money with it, and we're essentially poisoning our population. But I then come back to the individual choice, right? Or there was this other workshop I had, and I talked about the brain, right, and how important it is to maintain brain health. And again, hydration, sleep, healthy nutrition. And this one woman said, well, we don't need our brain anymore here anyway. Everything is done for us, right? And it was very, I don't know, negative. I was like, well, thank you for this perspective, but I don't know, you have a lot of time at your fingertips, no? Is it not great to have that much time? You can do all the things that you want to do now. And other people out there, million people out there would kill for that amount of time that you have right now for yourself. And she was, oh no. She was just on this track. And then another woman chimed in. She said, yeah, you're right. I mean, I do so many things now that I didn't do before when I was still working, right? And she was the one sitting there. Sorry, I'm just getting a notification here. She was sitting there with her notebook and taking notes and like soaking up every piece of information that I was sharing. And it's like, see, you have a choice, even in the way you're thinking about like your life right now. And so that's what I wanna bring across today. Like, take empowered action, and it doesn't have to be rocket science, right? Like a sophisticated supplement protocol, just the basics, and do some research for yourself and see what resonates with you. Listen to your gut, like at least take it as a sounding board to what you make up in your mind. It's a great internal conversation that you can have about the different aspects of your life, because, as I said, in this wheel of life, every area of our life is affected in one or the other way. So we can take a critical view right now as far as like, how did we live our life so far, and what do we want to change, right? And what lies in our power. Yeah, actually, there was another thing about this. These conversations with my workshop participants. This one guy was like also complaining about all his stuff that he has, and he was, I think, in his 80s, and I was like, don't blame everything on age, right? Age alone didn't get you where you are right now. It's the way you lived your life for the past 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, right? This really shaped the health that you're in right now. And he was like, yeah, you're right. It's like, yeah, it is age, of course, has some impact on what our body, how our body develops in our health, but it's really our lifestyle. So take a critical look at your lifestyle. And I do that on a daily basis. I recalibrate myself every morning, like mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm like choosing, what do I let into my mind? Like what kind of news do I digest today? What kind of news do I wanna? What amount of news do I wanna use my energy for today? And I do the same with every other thing, right? What do I want to eat today? How do I want to think about my business today? What do I want to focus on? How do I want to reach out to people like with Facebook Live, right? I have so many things that I want to share, and I probably, now that I've broken the ice again with Facebook Live, I may do a few more lives. I don't want to make this too long, but yeah, take a look at your life dimensions and see what is the opportunity here to introduce some positive change and take empowered action. And maybe at one point step outside your bubble, your own life, your own situation, and see how can we constructively work together to make this world, and now I'm getting very, very big here, a better place than it was before. Because every adversity, as you know, every challenge brings an opportunity to grow and to learn. And this time here gives us a lot of opportunity to learn and grow and revisit certain pieces of our life, right? And I'm not just talking about health. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if that helped. It helped me to let some things out. As I said, I'd like to share more. I'm also going to talk about this. Actually, I want to share this with you in a few days when I'm deeper into that program. Like every day, it feels so good to do something for yourself. And I feel like my energy is changing, the way I'm thinking changes. I get more clarity, I get more motivation, and it's so cool to do something for yourself, and it inspires me to share that with others and hopefully help them. So yeah, in a few days I'll share more details about this program that I'm doing right now. But for now, I'm gonna finish here because I could go on and on. Thank you for watching, and I'm sorry that it's in English only. I know I have a lot of connections in Germany. I have not yet come up with a solution to do things both in English and German instead of just duplicating it. But be well, be safe, don't freak out. Even when you're sick, when you have, I don't know who of you has some closer experience with the virus, even then it's an opportunity to change. Yeah, to do something different. And I'm not just talking about food and drinking. I'm also talking about, like, what do you think? What do you feel? Everything is connected, and everything affects your health. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. And reach out if you want to chat, if you have questions. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope I see you soon. All right, take care, and talk to you in a couple of days. I almost dropped this. Bye.